Good Mayed, Chamadim L'Simcha, welcome to this gala. I'd like to be part of this, love to reconnect to you, and let's talk a bit about Yom Tov. This Yom Tov of Sukkot, as we know, has a unique connection both to the Beit HaMikdash and to Eretz Yisrael. The Pasuk says in Tehillim, Ayin Gimel, Vahi b'Shalem Sukkot Monoso b'Tzion, which the Gemara explains that in Shalem is Sukkah, which is the mitzvah of Sukkah, Sumonoso, in your life and where you live is Tzion, is Eretz Yisrael. These are two mitzvahs that we don't just do, but we are encompassed by them. We experience life within them. The Pasuk alone is talking about the Beit HaMikdash. Obviously, there's a unique connection between Beit HaMikdash, Sukkah, and Eretz Yisrael. Let's try to understand what they are. You know, the Gemara says in Masechet Yevamot that Kol Mi she'ein lo karka eino adam. Man who doesn't have land is not a man. You have to have a sense of space. Man lacking a space reality is a nomad. He lacks the tzura of Adam. Gemara says in Ksubos that the nomads are called Uma Shefela because Yoshim Be'olim B'midbarios, they are nomad. They have no place which is theirs. They don't have a concept of place. Existence is noble if it's encompassed between time and place. Lacking of a sense of time or a sense of place is a chisar in the tzur sa'adam. Yet the Gemara over there says, Amar Rabbi Lazar, En lecha melacha b'zuya me'avodas hakarka. And Taisus asked the question, if a melachas hakarka is bazui, why do we say kol adam she'en lo karka eino adam? And Taisus says, because basically you need karka for a bias. It's not that you need karka for being a farmer. It's a hard job being a farmer. But people have to have a sense of place, a house. The idea of house is a theme which is found in the Beis HaMikdash specifically, where we know the Gemara says in Psachim that the different avos describe their avodat Hashem through the Hara Maria in different ways. Avraham karalo har, Yitzchak karalo sadeh, Yaakov karalo bayit. I'd like to focus on the idea of the bayit of Yaakov Avinu. What does it mean that the Beit HaMikdash, the Hara Maria, is a house? Now, Yaakov Avinu is a person in which naturally there is no fragmentation under his head, even, so to speak, the stones under his head unify into one. What does that mean? Yaakov is a person which has different types of children. Reading Parshas Vayichi, they are totally different. Even he recognizes their differences. Yet he is a roof in which they all galvanize into one nation. We are called Bnei Yisrael, all of us together. All sons of our grandfather Israel. That unique reality of being something which can connect different things into one and show how each person can interact with the other, connecting different worlds, ideals, and feelings to a common denominator, a nation builder. That is the idea of a house. A house is a place where you take different rooms with different furniture, and when you put them in context of a house, they interact with each other. Well, the kitchenware talks to the dining room somehow is in conversation with the living room, and so far with the library and wherever it only be. It's one unit. Take that furniture out in the yard, it looks like a rummage sale. The house is the overall seeing the broad picture and how different colors and different elements can interact with each other and become one. The idea of Sukkot is basically not just to do a mitzvah, but it should become the house, the way you see things in a broad way, that you can connect the Yom Kippur and the Rosh Hashanah, which passed, to the Yom HaChoil and the work of the whole year, which comes later. It's our halfway place where we learn how to connect different worlds, different elements. A man which does not have a house, which doesn't have that sense of a broad existence which allows him to connect all elements, whether it be the world of Kodesh and the world which is not expressly Kodesh, but actually is also Kedusha. He's not Nodam. Eretz Yisrael is uniquely that. See, we were living in the desert and we were in the super kollel, one would say, and we lived almost a monastic life of Kedusha. We came to Eretz Yisrael. We were not going to leave that. We were going to translate that into becoming farmers and warriors. We took that generation which grew up in the Midbar, and they were Dor Kovshei Uba'ei Haaretz. That's the ideal of Judaism. We must be people of a house. Yes, Sukkot teaches us how to connect the different aspects of the year. Eretz Yisrael teaches us how to connect all the different elements of practical life. Ultimately, that is the idea of the Beit HaMikdash. Yaakov kara lo bayit. That's why under that umbrella, different types of people, different ideas and different ideals can merge into a beautiful rainbow. That's Am Yisrael. That's Yaakov kara lo bayit. You know, we're celebrating our home, which is Keren B'Yavneh. The beauty of Keren B'Yavneh, to me, has always been, after it's like, this is my 41st year here actually, is that it teaches us, opens up our minds, opens our hearts, to be able to not say, oh, this is Torah and this is something else. We do not believe in Torah umada. We believe that everything is Torah. Yes, Kireh Shemecha Maseh Basecha. I look at creation, I look in the lab, I look in the microscope, I look in the telescope, I see Kavod Shamayim. The Kavod Shamayim found in the Gemara is the Kavod Shamayim you will see in any walk of life. That's called a house. You know, people living in a house are called a family. It's not just a house, it is home. I can only say thank God that we are all members of the family of Keren B'Yavneh. We have a great home. We have a great house. Have a beautiful Yom Tov and a beautiful year.